not? He's a perfect guy to take him out too. He took Ngannou out. Why would he not take Jake Paul out? And for him, he'd probably make more money fighting Jake Paul than he will fighting anybody else that he can fight right now. So why would he not do it? I mean, not that he needs the money right now anyway, but if he's going to do something, if you want to get a good win to put him back on the scene, that's a perfect win. You get a lot of money doing it.
I tell you what, I say to AJ, if this goes past 5 rounds, everybody's gonna be having a go at you because you can't go past 5 rounds with this kid. He has to go past 1 round or 2 rounds. Past beyond 4 or 5 rounds, you know, people are gonna be doubting you as a fighter himself.
Jake Paul cannot go 6 minutes with Anthony Joshua. It's just not gonna happen. You're talking about a man who starched Klitschko.
Roy Jones Jr. breaks down the upcoming Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua fight, saying that AJ is going to beat Jake Paul brutally. Roy further explains that the matchup brings excitement, attention, and huge financial rewards to boxing. He believes the event is great for the sport and that the massive money involved benefits everyone connected to the fight.
I want to change subjects just a little bit here. And Anthony Joshua, there's rumours circulating he could be fighting Jake Paul next. 1, do you think it's good for boxing? And 2, do you think the fight will happen?
I think it's great for boxing. I think the fight will happen. AJ is 1-0 against these guys that come in to these boxing careers late. So why not? He's a perfect guy to take him out too. He took Ngannou out. Why would he not take Jake Paul out? And for him, he'd probably make more money fighting Jake Paul than he will fighting anybody else that he can fight right now. So why would he not do it? I mean, not that he needs the money right now anyway, but if he's going to do something, if you want to get a good win to put him back on the scene, that's a perfect win. You get a lot of money doing it.
Derek Chisora took a very different route in his breakdown of the situation. To him, the entire conversation is less about competitiveness and more about business. Chisora argued that the fight isn't something fans should treat as a death match or a legacy-defining moment. Instead, it's simply a massive opportunity for everyone involved to earn money with minimal risk. He pointed out that Anthony Joshua, Eddie Hearn, Jake Paul, and the entire promotional machine behind the event would walk away with huge financial rewards. Chisora's stance is blunt. Critics aren't angry because the fight is bad. They're angry because the people in it are making an enormous amount of money. In his view, jealousy drives the backlash more than any genuine concern for boxing tradition.
When we look at AJ against Jake Paul, what sort of gulf do you expect to see?
Listen, we are in the game of entertainment. Either we're entertainment in the ring or on the football pitch, it don't matter. It's called entertainment. People are going to buy tickets to go watch Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua fight. You know, we're all entertainers, either way. So I'm happy. I'm so happy for AJ because he's doing this for himself. And you have to understand, you have to give so much respect to Jake Paul. You know, whatever he says, he makes it happen. You know, before he was like he wants to fight Anthony Joshua and people were laughing at him. And then suddenly it's happened and people are like, wow, what's going on here? You know, so kudos to that kid, man. He's very good at promoting everything he does.
Derek, do you reckon there's a bit of jealousy from other boxers and even like pundits flying around as well? Because even since it's been announced last night and today...
I know the biggest jealousy pundit you guys have and that is Simon Jordan. I'm telling you right now, Simon Jordan right now, he must be suffering inside and out right now because he knows Eddie's making money, Anthony Josh's making money. So he is dying right now, Simon Jordan.
Look, Derek, and I know you say it's entertainment and there'll be a massive audience, but is there an element of danger as well? Look, AJ's a former world champion, and this is a guy, you know, the best he's been in with is Tommy Fury.
Listen, he don't really care. In the boxing ring, it's the only place you can murder somebody and not go to jail. So, kudos to that. So if he gets beaten up and something happens, it's part of the game.
Well, I'm not sure that's a game that people will want to see, though.
Is it a real fight, though? Is this going to be a proper fight? You will know more than most.
Mate, let me tell you something. From how much they're getting paid, about much 177 million, whatever, and they're splitting it down the middle. So I hope it's not a game because I want to see some blood. I want to see somebody's teeth falling out. So I told Anthony, I already messaged Anthony as I listen.
The conversation surrounding this fight between Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua has become one of the most unexpected yet fascinating debates in modern boxing. Abdullah Mason offered one of the more balanced viewpoints. Rather than writing off the matchup as a circus or a guaranteed blowout, Mason argued that Jake Paul has developed enough skill and discipline to make the fight at least somewhat competitive. In his view, Paul has been training seriously for years, picking experienced opponents, and gradually leveling up. Mason's stance isn't that Paul would beat Joshua, but rather that fans shouldn't underestimate how much work Paul has put in. This perspective challenges the instinctive reaction many boxing purists have. Joshua is a former unified heavyweight champion, an Olympic gold medalist, and one of the most technically structured heavyweights of the past decade.
Yeah, so is that surprising? Is that the first you've heard of it?
That's the first I've heard of it. That's surprising to me.
Confirmed, 3 minute, eight rounds.
3 minute, 8 rounds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just your take on it, just seeing Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua in a heavyweight fight.
I mean, I guess they doing what's best for them, you know. So I feel like, you know, I don't got too much to say on it.
I asked you before when Tank wasn't originally scheduled to face him, if you'd watched it, you said you would. But is this more of a competitive challenge for Jake, do you see, because of a natural weight between them being a lot closer?
Oh, this is definitely more of a competitive challenge for them. So I'm going to probably tune into that one too.
Legendary promoter Frank Warren echoed this point in his own way. He admitted openly that, regardless of the criticism, everyone would end up watching. This honesty highlights an important truth. Even the loudest haters wouldn't be able to resist tuning in. Warren also noted that Jake Paul has been gradually increasing the level of his opponents, taking steps forward in terms of skill, experience, and challenge. To Warren, the fight isn't disrespectful to the sport. Instead, it's part of boxing's evolution, where entertainment, global reach, and financial appeal coexist with traditional matchups. His approval suggests the industry doesn't see Jake Paul as an invader anymore, but as a continuing part of the ecosystem.
Well, what I think is that people will buy it. They'll watch it. And Netflix have bought it. And they're expecting to get big numbers. They've had big numbers for his last 2 fights. He's a major, major attraction for whatever reason. But he's a licensed boxer. He trains, he works as a fighter. I'll take my hat off to him for all of that. He's not a heavyweight, and he's stepping in with, people have criticised some of his opponents in the past, but he's stepping up to the plate.
Can't criticise this one, I suppose.
He's gone from one extreme to the other. He's fighting a guy, two-time world champion, as somebody who's a natural heavyweight. I know there's a weight clause thing on there, but I don't think that will make a lot of difference to AJ. And he's also a gold medalist. I think it's he's a massive favourite, AJ, for this fight. He's getting very, very well paid for it. And people will buy it. You'll buy it because it's a road crash.
He is a massive favourite. The bookies only have him at 1-10 and 1-4 to get the stoppage. Is that a bit mad to you?
I mean, look, you've seen AJ. You see what he's done with Ngannou.
Yeah, Ngannou and Jake Paul are two very...
And Ngannou's a natural heavyweight.
Yeah. I just thought those odds seemed a little bit, I suppose...
skinny.
Yeah. Yeah. Is it disrespectful to the integrity of boxing?
No, because it's... Look, you're asking a question that you know the answer to, as does most people in the industry. So, it is what it is. It's a pure money-making venture with a guy that's AJ doesn't mean too much in America. Jake Paul does. AJ's ventures into America didn't go down too well, did it? So Jake Paul does, though, and he's got a massive following, and that's why he's on the A side of the card. It's in America, and that's where it's at.
Former heavyweight champion David Haye delivered one of the harshest assessments. He warned that for Jake Paul, stepping into the ring with Joshua could be dangerous enough that it might be his last day on earth. Haye emphasized the massive physical disparity between the two men. Joshua's size, power, experience, and athletic pedigree are levels beyond anything Paul has faced. Haye's angle is built on raw boxing logic. Joshua has knocked out elite heavyweights. Paul has faced smaller, older, or inactive fighters. The difference, Haye believes, is so big that it shouldn't even be debated as competitive. For him, the fight is a mismatch not just technically, but physically. His warning is meant to highlight how real heavyweight power can change everything.
Official Jake Paul is going to get in a ring in a boxing match boxing gloves to mix it with one of the most dangerous heavyweights on the planet, someone who is Olympic gold medalist, won the heavyweight championship twice, although he lost his last fight against a very good Daniel Dubois. He's a top 10 heavyweight on the planet versus internet sensation, someone who's a latecomer to boxing and has boxed at a very moderate level. I'm talking domestic level. And he lost to Tommy Fury, for instance. And Tommy Fury, who he lost to, versus Anthony Joshua, they're two completely different sports. So I commend Jake Paul for putting himself in harm's way, because boxing is a dangerous game. People have died in the ring. People have been seriously injured, maimed. And he believes in himself enough to do it on a massive scale, because it's not about the money. He's got enough money. This is him wanting to push the boundaries of reality. He's manifested an amazing life for himself. He's a superstar. And I think he wants to try and do the unthinkable. He wants to, it's an insane challenge he's put himself up for, but you've got to give him credit.
You say an insane challenge. You've described it before as Jake Paul being a cat versus Anthony Joshua's lion.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not equally matched on any sense, are they?
There's not one element of their boxing skill set that Jake Paul can come 15, 20% in regards to Anthony Joshua. He's a completely different specimen. Look, you'll see what it looks like when they stand next to each other. And Anthony Joshua, he's not a bodybuilder. He's a prime athlete.
Renowned boxing journalist Gareth A. Davis offered one of the most strategic and measured breakdowns of the upcoming Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua fight. In his view, taking this matchup wouldn't be a bad decision for Joshua at all. With hopes of securing a massive showdown against Tyson Fury next year, Joshua needs activity, rhythm, and confidence, things he has struggled to maintain due to long periods of inactivity, unexpected losses, and inconsistent fight schedules. Davis argued that Jake Paul could serve as a financially enormous warm-up fight, giving Joshua a chance to stay sharp without taking on the extreme risks associated with facing top-tier heavyweights. Unlike dangerous contenders who could set Joshua back, a bout with Paul allows him to remain active while walking into the ring with far less pressure and danger. The business aspect also matters. Tune-up fights rarely generate significant revenue, yet this one would likely be one of the biggest paydays of Joshua's career. For that reason alone, Davis believes the fight makes complete sense. It checks every box, keeps Joshua busy, attracts global attention, delivers massive financial reward, and still positions him perfectly for a future clash with Fury.
Levels above Jake Paul and a weight division above him. I think it's irresponsible to let those two in a ring together in a proper boxing match. That's my view. It doesn't damage his bank balance, but if he earns $70 million for this, are we really going to see him get up for a fight with Tyson Fury, which is being talked about for next September? I understand that fight isn't signed yet. There's still a warm-up fight. I don't blame Eddie Hearn, as I said to him. I would have taken that fight if I was in the same situation. I don't blame him taking this as a second warm-up fight. But the problem for Anthony Joshua, if he doesn't do what he did to Francis Ngannou in those 2 rounds in Riyadh and finish him conclusively, he's going to be pilloried for it. If this fight stretches more than 2 or 3 rounds and he hasn't got Jake Paul out there, he will get booed and hammered over it. So there is pressure on him to go in there. And if he gets caught or clipped, which I've heard Frank Warren talking about that today, if he gets caught, the arena's going to erupt if Jake Paul lands a punch, So it's a very peculiar matchup. Yes, it's one I'm going to watch and I'm going to go to. I'm in Miami this week anyway for BKB 48. Lucas Brown's fighting Gustavo Trujillo with the bare fists for the heavyweight title in BKB. Where's the press conference on Friday? In Miami for Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua. They say the Lord works in mysterious ways. I'm over there. So it's a very weird one, but this is where we are. Jake Paul's unique. I'm interested in your take on it, Chris.
Yeah, I would start with the Jake Paul side of it. I give Jake Paul enormous credit for this.
Trainer and boxing personality Tundday Ajayi took a defensive stance against critics who attacked Anthony Joshua for entertaining the idea of fighting Jake Paul. Ajayi questioned why some fans are so eager to criticize Joshua no matter what he does, whether he fights elite opponents or takes a different kind of payday opportunity. Ajayi argued that boxing is full of contradictions. Fans demand big fights, demand entertainment, demand knockout moments, and demand consistency, but then attack fighters for taking opportunities that guarantee all of those things. To him, the criticism of Joshua is unfair, inconsistent, and rooted more in emotion than logic. He also echoed the sentiment that there is nothing wrong with the matchup from an industry standpoint. It brings attention, money, and participation from new audiences, benefiting the sport as a whole.
Right, you can stop Ngannou in 2 like that, but you can't stop Jake in 2. Has he got a short amount of time to get this job done?
This fight is not going on his record, right?
I believe it will.
This fight is going on his actual record.
I mean, some details are still unconfirmed, but I believe this is not an exhibition, this is a fight.
Well, listen, WWE is not real. And if we are to be, sensible about this whole thing, Jake Paul cannot go 6 minutes with Anthony Joshua. It's just not going to happen. You're talking about a man who starched Klitschko. Come on. It's like, this is AJ we're talking about. As far as I'm concerned, AJ can walk in there with one leg and one arm and still win the fight. I'm not going to be led to believe that Jake Paul it has a chance against Anthony Joshua, although he is improved as a fighter. He cannot be looked on as just a gimmick fighter. Now he's actually got boxing skills and he's done very well thus far. But I think Anthony Joshua is a step too far, and I'm not expecting that fight to go more than a couple of rounds. And if it does, I'll be very surprised.
A major twist in the story came when the idea of staging the fight on Netflix surfaced. At first, Anthony Joshua denied it entirely. He insisted he couldn't fight on Netflix, and many believed that was the end of the rumor. But things changed dramatically when the financial offer ballooned into something too huge to ignore. Joshua has had stretches of inactivity, suffered tough losses, and gone through rebuilding phases. A fight like this, massive money, global exposure, low risk compared to elite opposition, became increasingly appealing. Eventually, the impossible started turning into the possible, and now the world actually believes this fight can be made.
They said it couldn't happen because for the moment, AJ can't fight on Netflix. But since then, the money has obviously really talked and has made the fight happen. While also, it's been a case of brilliant timing. I think the Paul camp is willing to take this fight now because they probably know they won't get the chance again for at least 12 months. Joshua has been out of the ring for a little while now. The last time we saw him in there was in September of last year, where he got knocked out by then IBF champion Daniel Dubois. His inevitable return has since been delayed because of several issues, yet Eddie Hearn wanted to get AJ back in the ring because of a rumoured Fury fight. That seems to be on the horizon for late next year. Turkey has said Joshua will return to Saudi in February on a show there, and hopefully that will build up to the big one in late 26.
The Jake Paul versus Anthony. Joshua conversation isn't just about skill, it's about modern boxing's priorities, fan expectations, entertainment value, and the shifting power structures within the sport. Jake Paul brings an audience that boxing hasn't seen in decades. Joshua brings credibility, legacy, and athletic prestige. Together, they create a spectacle that might not satisfy purists, but undeniably excites the mainstream.
Eddie Hearn was hoping to get Joshua back in the ring against anybody in December just to knock off some of the ring rust. Although I don't think even Joshua and his team would have thought that easy fight would end up being Jake Paul, and none of them probably thought this easy fight would end up being potentially the biggest payday of his career to date. This is Netflix truly flexing their muscles. They've made money talk and walk, and have pushed through really the impossible. There would have had to be serious coin to have made this happen. Enough coin to seemingly make AJ be okay with being the B-side. This fight is being promoted as Jake versus Joshua. What world are we living in where Anthony Joshua is the promotional B-side to Jake Paul? And although you might think Jake Paul is mad for taking this fight, that's exactly what they want you to think. It doesn't matter the quality of the actual fight, they want to simply make the most viral pairing possible to have the best chance at selling you a fight. Tyson Paul wasn't much of a fight, but the virality made tens of millions of people tune in, and here we will see the exact same.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time.